So today I want to talk about how I use TurboTax in order to depreciate my real estate. So for those of you who don't know, I've been doing my own property tax, or sorry, my own tax returns for the past, I think 7 years since 2017, despite owning 90 units of real estate. I've been doing it for a while. I've learned a lot going through the process, and in the beginning it's hard, but it gets easier and easier over time. So I want to show how I depreciate my different assets. So I have on my tax returns 90 units of real estate, and of those 90 units, about 8 properties are most of the units. So I have my 5 single-family homes, and I have my 26 unit, my 20 unit, and my mobile home park. Right. So each of those have their own heading, and I want to show you how I input a property in to depreciate the building structure itself, as well as to depreciate any of the renovation costs that I do. So I'm gonna run through an example real quick here. Okay, so let me flip my screen around and let me show you how I do it on my laptop. So here, as you can see, we are at the business section, business income and expense, and it's basically gonna ask, okay, is this a rental property or royalty, right? So I already pre-filled this, but I put rental property right here, and then I put the address. So I'm using a dummy address, but you type in the address, 123 Main Street, city, and then you want to hit continue. And then from here, it's going to ask you, okay, what type of home is it? So is it a single family home? Is it a multifamily, which is a duplex, apartment building, or other property where multiple families live? So for the sake of this example, let's just do single family home. So you click that. And then here, basically you look at this property, right? So, okay, is it new? So 2020 was the first year I ever did this property. Let's just say I got this property, and it's the first year I bought this, right? So you just click new, and then you can see the other sections here, right? So I'm gonna do this from my mobile home park. I sold or disposed of this property in 2023. So it's gonna enter details of the sale when you reach the depreciation section later, right? If let's just say you house hacked your property, I actually click this section. So let's say you have a 5-bedroom house and you rent 3 out of 5 bedrooms. This is where you could kind of claim that income, right? So if you look at that, you click on the thing, it gives you a definition, right? So if you rent a part of your property, you must divide certain expenses between the part of the property used for rental purposes and part of the property used for personal purpose, as though you actually had 2 separate pieces of property, right? So for example, if I let's say rent it out, let's do it for simplicity. I have a 4-bedroom house. I house hacked 2 rooms. So 50% of my property is for personal use, and then 50% of my property is for business use. So let's say I have a utility bill of $1,000, then essentially I could write off 500 as business and 500 as personal, right? So it's pretty easy. Right here, if you live in a duplex, multi-unit, like a duplex where I live, so let's say you live in one unit and rent out the other, once again, you're going to divide it. So if you live in a duplex and you rent out the other unit, then 50% is income, business income, and then 50% is your personal, right? So and then if you have any passive losses from the last year, which I have a lot of usually, then it'll carry forward, right? So you click that, and then you can just say, yes, the property rented all year for simplicity. And then it'll ask you, was it rented at fair market rental price, which was yes. And then I own 100% of it, right? So let's say you split with a partner, then you would put no here, and you would put like whatever, I own 50%. But for simplicity, I'm gonna do I own 100%. And then so active participant, I own basically at least 10% of the property, and I made major decisions for this property, such as improving tenants and authorized. So usually I put yes for this, but if you need help figuring it out, you could click here. And then usually here I would put no for 1099. So here you can, usually here I go none of the above. No. Just say I bought this rental. So it tells you what information you need, right? So let me just make this up. So let's put $1 million. I'm just gonna put 1/1/23, just the beginning of the year. 1-1-23. So here, these are the fees that you'd put in for your lender and title company. So you see it broken down here. Any points that you paid. That's what I mean by really user-friendly. So if you did any remodeling, you'd put it right here. Room addition, special tax assessments, all goes here. Okay. So here, the land value. So this is on your property tax bill, right? So let's just say I put $1 million. Let's say the land is $500,000. And I'll just put 0 here. By 0. What went wrong here? So here, this is where you go to your asset depreciation. Sorry. So here, this is basically where you want to edit it. So you go to the rental property, residential. So this is how you depreciate your asset. So, I messed up here. So the cost was $1 million, and the cost of the land, that's why it was 0. I'll put half of it, just for simplicity. But remember, this is on your tax return. And then I've always used this 100% for business. Okay, continue. So now my depreciation is $17,000 a year. So if you hit show detail, so how it breaks it down is it takes the cost, so $1 million, which is what you bought for, minus the cost of the land, which is $500,000, and you divide that by 27.5 years, right? So this is your annual depreciation. So let's just say, okay, so I did that for my actual asset, but let's just say let's say I renovated this property, and let's say I put in $50,000 worth of renovation. So these are your depreciation categories. You have rental real estate, which is where I went first. So it's land improvements, real estate property, computer, video, telephone equipment, tools, machinery, intangibles, other properties. So this is for like if you refinance your loan, you go down here. So for me, I usually use intangibles as well as rental. So if you kind of look here, I will usually click appliance, carpet, furniture, and this is for renovations, right? So let's just say I did a kitchen remodel, and then it cost me $10,000. Oops. So let me put so it's 100% for business. I have to put in a date. So here it gives you options, right? So you can depreciate this over several years. Usually do this if you don't have income. So I usually do this is over 5 years, or you can deduct the full value of this item this year, and then you can take a partial 179. So let me do it over several years to show you. So it's $2,000 a year. So you take 10,000 and you divide it by 5, right? So this is if you don't make money, but let's just say you made good money or your real estate professional status, you want to offset your active income, you click this one. And what's nice is it'll depreciate it all, right? So if you click show details, it's 1 year and it has the special 179 deduction, right? So that's if you have your real estate professional status, you have a lot of income that you want to write off, then you can use that strategy. Or you could take a partial, right? So for example, let's just say I only want to deduct 5,000 of the 10,000, and then it'll spread over the remaining 5,000 over 5 years, right? So let me show you how it looks.